Welcome to Color USA, the show dedicated to the cultural and natural diversity of the greatest country on the planet, the USA. I'm here at the largest wetland ecosystem in North America, the Everglades National Park. This is actually not a swamp. This is a very large river that is home to alligators, to crocodiles, and to the Florida panther. We're gonna step on one of those airboats and start our tour right now. Coming up, awesome and fun airboat rides with big, mean alligators, friendlier ones, and the beautiful landscape of the grasslands and the mangroves of the Everglades. I am Sebastian Alex, and for 10 years I've organized the greatest international community in Boston. And I realized how culturally diverse the USA is. This is the greatest melting pot on the planet, and this show is dedicated to the true colors of the United States of America. Welcome to Color USA, everybody. And to join me in that beautiful Everglade adventure is the greatest bicycle racer on the planet, a veteran, an artist, Zen garden designer, Mike Francis McClellan. Mike, what do you think the alligator right here has in his bag? Do you think he has beers?
I sure hope so. If they are beer in there, I hope there's ice.
Fresh beers. Our adventure starts in Naples, Florida, where Mike sets up the game plan. That's the map right here.
Being native to Maine and Alaska,
Yeah.
This is different for me. All this green is alligators and snakes and crocodiles.
Yeah.
And we're going to be somewhere over here and try not to get lost when we go somewhere over here.
What scares you the most, an alligator or a bear?
Getting lost.
As we're driving to the Everglades, Mike tells me about his countless life stories, from his time serving in the Marine Corps, his studies in Alaska, and his last ventures in Brazil. All those stories I have come to know by heart after years of friendship. What you have to worry the most in Florida is not eating a panther. Hey, welcome to America. As we notice the wetland and the signs of alligators, we are in the Everglades. First, we're gonna start with an airboat ride. I'm looking for some souvenir for my friend Dana. Oh yeah, that plush alligator is perfect. People tell me very often I look like The Rock, and actually The Rock was here at that airboat place here in the Everglades. In reality, it's more like The Rock, looking like me. That's our ride for the day. An airboat, a flat-bottom watercraft propelled by an aircraft-type propeller. Airboats are very popular in shallow waters where all other boats would be impractical. Here is Mike with his wife Nancy, listening to our funny guide.
All right, guys, look, I'm getting ready to lose this guy in the front, out there.
Yeah.
But I promise I will bring him back, all right? You ready, guys?
Our tour starts slow, but our guide rapidly increases the speed to NASCAR racing. I am cool, of course. Mike, a little bit scared. But hey, we're having so much fun. It's time to stop and receive some information about the ecosystem from our
Now
guide.
the trees you guys see around you, these are all red mangrove. Now these are federally protected trees. It's a $5,000 fine and up to 6 months in jail for cutting one of these trees. Now the reason they're so protected is when we have hurricanes and tropical storms, they do decrease wind from one side to the next by 30%. 150-mile-an-hour hurricane, you truly want them around your house. The sad part is, 40 years ago, every place that you see these trees was grasslands, all right? They are taking over the grasslands at a rapid rate. They estimate 10 to 15 years on the west coast of Florida, and any grass that we have left is going to be gone because of it.
We continue the tour and explore more beauties of the Everglades, keep the level of adrenaline up with a few more flips, and it's jokes time with our favorite guide.
We don't want to lose your hat. And ma'am, up front, that spray is really good for your complexion.
Yeah,
we
so
call it
much
the Everglades
information.
facial. Saltwater, mud, and gator food.
Yeah, I wasted my time this morning.
I'm sitting in front of the boat trying to see an alligator, but there is nothing in sight in the muddy water. Hey, I want to be that kid and driving the airboat. Well, I might be too old for that. I'm just going to be sitting, my feet up in the air, going right and left, observing the magical beauty of the Everglades. And And now we are going to the Cypress Park doing a tour in that huge buggy. Big Cypress National Preserve and the Everglades are two different entities right next to each other. The main difference between the two is that Big Cypress is mainly a cypress swamp of rainwater, while the Everglades is a prairie that is submerged by a slow-moving river.
I'm just blown away by it.
This is all fresh. And this is all rainwater. That's where your black bear, your panthers, coyotes, bobcats.
I am
all
a
those
cowboy
animals.
that loves Indians, and Big Cypress is home to the Miccosukee and the Seminole Native tribes, where they have special rights to occupy the land in traditional ways.
And yeah, Seminole just meant renegade Indian, basically. That was what we basically gave them that name.
And football players.
Yeah. So they'd camp here for a couple days and then they'd work their way to Everglades City.
The vegetation of the cypress forest is really dense, reminding me of my trips in the Amazon. The guide shows us signs that black bears occupy the region.
Look at those claw marks, how high they go up that tree. If you're running from one, don't climb a tree.
And here we are in the Cypress National Park. It's really different from the wetland. As you see, all those trees, that's where the bears are, the panther, and Mike McClellan. Bears are not the only predators living in Big Cypress. Pythons also are. That's a python that you found here?
Yeah, it was
That's a
out in the
deer.
Everglades.
And he had the deer in his stomach?
Yeah.
One thing to know is that the state of Florida offers boundaries for the catch of big pythons.
I've actually found 6 of them while doing rides here. So if I stop the buggy and jump off, that's what I'm doing. A tree from the Indian camp. About every 50 yards through here, they would pull the branches down, pile rocks on them, or
As we continue our tour, we happily observe the birds of the region. But there is still no sign of a big, mean alligator. Oh wait, I think we found one! No, that's not a real alligator, that's just me. Guys, oh, hey, don't be scared. The Everglades National Park is the third largest national park in the lower 48 states, and it's the only place in the world where crocodile and alligators coexist. Well, for now we'll go and visit the alligator farm, from baby alligators to medium ones to gigantic ones. We have a crazy guy among them. I would never do that. Hey Donna, I got you a present for Christmas, a new purse. 30 pounds, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Enough alligators and adventure for now. Mike is hungry. It's lunchtime. City seafood at Everglades City. I'm gonna get seafood. In Florida, in the Everglades, the weather changed really fast and it's pouring rain right now. The weather changes fast in southern Florida, and we got in for lunch right on time. Mike is wearing his Crocodile Dundee hat. He has been Crocodile Dundee the last 5 Halloweens. Mike, are you going to catch one of those crocodiles like in the movie?
I'm going to eat one of those crocodiles.
Yeah, I'm having my favorite food in the whole world, fried scallops. If any girl wants to invite me ever, get me some scallops for dinner, and I'm sure coming. Look at that deliciousness. There is nothing better in life. Come to Papa. Scallops. As we finish our lunch and wait for the rain to settle down, Mike and I remember all the great people we met through the Young Europeans in Boston group, the international community I have organized for years. Mick Dundee, Crocodile Dundee, the famous crocodile hunter from Australia, is actually from Maine.
And his name is Mick. Well, I say Mike.
Mike wants to drive me to his favorite place for a drink, the Rod and Gun Club. We are at one of the institutions of the Everglades, Rod and Gun. That's where the presidents would come, the movie stars would come here. Schwarzenegger, Stallone, and Mac McClellan.
Once in a while. I've been here once in a while. But I usually get all those other people cleared out so I can have the whole place to myself.
The sun finally comes out and we will try to catch a glimpse of the sunset. But tomorrow when I wake up, I am well decided to look for an alligator in the swamps. What's the name of the page, Mike?
Color USA. USA.
The next day, we are determined to see an alligator where it belongs, in its natural habitat, in the swamps of the Everglades. Get there. An alligator right here? This was a joke. Had it been true, I would already have lost a leg. So Mike, you grew up in Maine, you stayed in Alaska, now you're living in Florida.
It doesn't snow here, it doesn't freeze. We could go swimming every day. Besides that, we have alligators as neighbors.
It's time to go back on one of those airboats with another funny guide. It seems like you need a comedian license to pilot one of those airboats. When was the last python you caught?
2 nights ago, and it's in my freezer.
For dinner or?
Yeah, it's gonna go to a good home.
This time, the airboat ride is going only through the mangroves, a maze of extremely dense aquatic trees that look supernatural. As we gain speed, I need to take off my hat. I really don't want to lose it. By the way, this is way more exciting than any Disneyland park I have ever been to. Okay, this is cool, another flip, but hey, I want a real thing. I want to see an alligator. We finally found an alligator in the swamps. Wow. But now that I'm here, I'm not so sure I want to stick around.
Now remember, don't make eye contact when alligators attack. They go right for the face.
And as always, our savvy guide is giving us more information about the ecosystem of the region.
Alligators are black in color, broad, rounded snouts, and their teeth are conical, designed more for crushing. This water here is brackish, combination of fresh and salt. Alligators like fresh water, crocodiles like salt water. Water's fresh enough for gators, salt enough for crocodiles. That's another reason why we get them both here. A nursery for countless shrimps and crabs, fishes, right? Where you have those little fish hide and you have larger fish that are trying to eat them, so on and so forth, going right up through the food chain. So we end up being sports fishing capital of the entire plant. Snook, tarpon, redfish, out, cobia, chippletail, snapper, grouper, pompano, permit, sheep's head, mullet, bass, brim, you name it, we got it. As rednecks, we love our fishing. It's one of the perks of living here.
And of course, it's jokes time.
Dating sucks. I'm related to everybody. It's horrible. I had to import my ex-wife from West Virginia. Surprised my kid didn't come out with flippers. And as you can tell from looking at me, she couldn't cook.
All right, enough jokes and alligators for today. It's time to go back to Everglades City. As our cowboy walks into the distance, he will remember for the rest of his life the natures and colors of that incredible American region, the Everglades. We are in the USA. We are in the Everglades National Park, Florida.